Space Living with CTM takes us on a tour of 8 different spaces with 8 talented designers. We take a look at some of the beautiful interiors they've designed and how they go about putting their creative touch to small spaces. When it comes to a home, the entrance is the first area your guests will see. One designer who knows that first impressions last is Cathin from Nowadays Interiors.
From a practical point of view, a well-designed entrance has to invite you in. When you first walk in, that's the feeling you're going to get. That's where you're going to know, I belong here or I don't want to be here. From an emotional point of view, I think an entrance really creates your first impression of a house, but it also creates your design style for the rest of the house. My design process when I start an entrance usually starts with whatever the client already has or what their first piece of inspiration is. So I decided to start with all the art. The client has beautiful art that she's commissioned from various artists in South Africa and international artists as well. The painting behind me was commissioned in Greece while my client was on holiday, and that's something I had to incorporate because it really makes the entrance personal. The furniture I then chose was stuff just to anchor the art that was already on the walls. So the furniture that does go into an entrance should be multi-purpose, because sometimes it's going to stand empty and sometimes you're going to use it to serve drinks, or sometimes you're going to throw a bag on there. With an entrance being a very high traffic area, the choice of flooring is really important. The client was really specific about having sandstone stairs. So the stairs were custom made and we had to go for a floor finish that went with the stairs because that was ordered first. We then went with a sandstone floor as well. So without going too yellow, we had to choose a paint color that picks up the beige but doesn't go peachy or yellow when in artificial light. When using a monochromatic color scheme, I really like to incorporate plants. This not only adds a color, but it also adds texture. The decor elements that were added are an umbrella basket, a shoe basket, as well as different types of weaves of baskets. The textures really work and it's really inviting in a space that actually doesn't have furniture, but has a lot of things standing, which makes it feel furnished.
Armed with a wealth of design knowledge, Cathin sets off to create a striking entrance. Through a focal design, bold colour usage and layered textures, she encapsulates the essence of a welcoming entrance on a small scale.
My design inspiration started with the terracotta trend, which is really big for 2018-2019. And from there on, I wanted to add a few more textures and colors to make it interesting and also to create something that you can't see on the other stands in the showroom, which just gives you a little bit more to do with the product than just a normal floor or wall tile. I knew I wanted to use a terracotta tile, and when I walked into the showroom and I saw this beautiful cladding, I just fell in love with it and I had to use it. So together with the terracotta and the orange cladding, I wanted to combine a contrasting color, which would obviously be blue because blue and terracotta are complementary colors. I also decided to just put a little bit of a twist on it and use the terracotta grout with the blue tiles, which really makes it pop. I really fell in love with the brick cladding, but making one whole big wall in brick cladding would really just be too much. I decided to break it up with the mosaic arch and just do a white center in between. The white center also can be a door, it can be a braai or a fireplace. So with this arch design, it breaks the brick cladding, but it also adds another element. In most generic designs, you usually get a floor tile, a wall tile, and one mosaic as a feature. This just takes it a little bit further to say you don't have to just choose one mosaic. You can choose 3 or 4, combine them together and still get a coherent look.
For the floor, Cathin made use of a standard terracotta tile from the Kilimanjaro range. To bring interest to the floor, she opted to have it cut in rectangular strips and laid down in a herringbone pattern. To play on her Mediterranean theme, she added rustic charm by breaking the herringbone pattern with inlays of pebble mosaic tiles.
A fully tiled space can be really hard on the eye. What I suggest is combining matte, semi-matte and shiny surfaces together. That really creates a trick onto the eye, saying you've got different textures, some are softer than others, and it also creates interest. An entrance has to be beautiful and functional. So I added some CTM robe hooks, which can be used to hang your towels, your bags, your coats, your hats. I just love the end result of this entrance. It really creates a feel of being on holiday, being in a beach house, being somewhere in the Mediterranean. And that's what an entrance has to do. It has to create a mood that you just want to stay in, and that's the mood that you are in when you enter the space.
When it comes to creating the ultimate small space entrance, keep the following in mind. An entrance has to be inviting. Remember, first impressions last. It sets the design mood for the rest of your home. Hard-wearing floors are a good idea for a high-traffic area. Selecting tiles that complement each other creates interest. Create a focal point with art or an interesting wall design. Furniture in an entrance needs to be functional. Plants add life to an entrance. Storage baskets keep an entrance tidy. Wall hooks are great for hats, coats and scarves. Combining different finishes like gloss and matte creates interest.